In this session, we are going to discuss speech to text API. Here, you are going to upload an audio file so that whatever the text it is present in the audio file, you're going to extract the text and that text you're going to save it in a one file. That is what you're going to do in this lab. That is speech to text API. This is one of the Google Cloud Service option we can use to convert speech to text. Here you can see the overview. The speech to text API enables easy integration of Google speech recognition technologies into developer application. The speech to text API allows you to send audio and receive a text transcription from the service. Okay. This is API we are going to use speech to text from the Google Cloud Service option. In this lab, what are all the things you are going to do? First and foremost thing, before converting speech to text, we require an API key. We are going to create an API key. That is the first task. Then second one, create a speech to text API request. You're going to make the request by attaching the audio file. Then, after making the request, you're going to call the speech to text API to convert the audio, means whatever the text present in the audio file, it's going to extract the text and you're going to store the text in some resulting file. So we will go through this in this particular lab, that is speech to text API. We will start this lab. Yes. Open link in incognito window. Okay, this is the Google Cloud Console. Now, the first task, that is create an API key. So we are going to use the curl command whenever you are interacting with any of the sites, websites. We can use this curl command to make a request. Okay. Since you will be using curl to send a request to the speech to text API, you need to generate an API key to pass in our request URL. Okay. So we have to generate the API key first, since we are making the request for the conversion. How to generate or how to create an API key? We have to go to the navigation menu, APIs and services, then credentials. Then you click on the credentials. In the drop-down menu, select API key. Okay, we will do that one. APIs and services. Then you click on the credentials. Then here you are going to create the credentials API key. Okay, we're going to collect an API, which is that API we are going to collect. That is speech to text API. Okay, we will use this API speech cloud speech to text API. You click on OK. Now you click on create. As that API key is going to create. Okay, you can store this API key in some file. Okay, you can add this to somewhere. And this is the API key you require. Have to pass and you store that API key in some of the file. Yes, now I created an API key. For this lab, already one virtual machine is created. That virtual machine name is Linux instance that is running for you. Just you have to do SSH, you can connect that VM instance and you can make the API request. Okay. Before this, I can go to this navigation menu, navigation menu, compute engine, VM instances. As now you can do SSH, you can connect to this Linux instance. As you click on authorize, allow SSH. After this, what you are going to do? First, you are going to create an environment variable by the name API key. For that, you are assigning the your API key. This is the key you generated just now. Okay, that is there in the notepad. Just copy paste and you going to paste it here. And that key is assigning to the API key. How to create an environment variable by using this export command. Just copy this one. Sometime press export API key is assigned by your API key. This is the key you generated. Okay. Now we will see once again what had happened. Till it is showing explode. Okay, another two team of this one. This is a close and we try for this. And, because of some network issues, it will show in common. We refresh this page. Okay. This is the Linux instance. Already it is running. Okay, just I'm going to connect an SSH, transferring SSH keys to the virtual machine. Authorize. It's taking much of the time. And all the details of this Linux instance, and it is in running state. Okay, 36 disk architecture 64. You can see this is the virtual machine it is created. Okay. VM status is okay. Actually, we'll see this is the project ID with lab GCP 04405. Mm, this is correct. Project ID is correct. Then we'll see why it is. First, we will enable this. Mhm. Okay, so we will check what is enables APIs and services. I think it is not enabled network management API. Okay, just enable it and you have to wait for some time. And one more thing, it is not enabled. You will see that IAM permissions test skipped. This also, as now it is enabled. Okay, now one more API we have to enable. Identity aware proxy. That is also not enabled. Okay, we have to wait for some time. So again, it is enabled. Okay, now both the APIs are enabled. We'll see the results that will work now. Transferring the SSH keys to the virtual machine, establishing the server, establishing connection to SSH server. Hope now it will open. Okay, before this, we'll go to the procedure window. After enabling the keys, then you're going to create the speech to text API request. Okay, there is a pre-recorded file. You can listen to the audio file before sending into the speech text API. Before sending to speech to text API, you can listen what it is there in the audio file. This is the audio file I'm opening. How old is the booting bridge? That is the text present in the audio file. Okay, still it is connecting. Okay, it is not connecting. It is not connecting. Nice. Generation. Okay. Enable both now APIs. Still it is connecting. Still it is not connecting. So, in also. Yes, it's not connecting. Okay, sometimes you will get a problem. You're going to miss the problem, but no worries. I'm going to expand the same. So you're going to use the request.json by using this touch command. You're going to open the request.json. You can add the content to this request.json file using the URI value. Okay. Here there are two sections. One is configuration and another one is what audio. In the config section, you're going to use the encoding. That is the free lossless audio codec FLAC. What it will do, it will to reduce the size of your audio file to 50 to 60% without losing any quality in the quality of audio. And the language code you're going to give ENUS English. Encoding once again I will tell you that is free lossless audio codec. Okay, you're going to compress the audio to 50 to 60% without losing the quality. And the audio URI you can provide. This is the cloud storage where this audio file is located. Okay, you're going to give that URI. Okay, press Ctrl X, Ctrl Y. So it's going to save that in request.json file. You can check your progress. You can call the speech to text API now. Okay. In this, you are interacting with your website. Okay, you're going to provide the request.json, what is to, and you're going to provide the API key. That API key already you assigned, you created an environment variable by using the export command, export API key. That API key you are providing to convert speech to text API. You provided the result.json and you will get the result in the transcript. You will get the Written how old is the Brooklyn Bridge and with the confidence score, the probability. Yes, that is correct. This is the transcript you received. How old is the Brooklyn Bridge? Because that is present. And again, you're going to run the following command. You can save the response in the result.json. Okay. So you're going to provide the API key with greater than symbol result.json file. Okay, this is all about in this lab. Okay, but here this SSH authentication is failing continuously. Um, we will work with this. What are the problem we are facing? Okay, this is okay, once again what we will do. We will connect it. Okay, so we can see the time. Again, time is very precious for us. 8 minutes. First, I will stop the instance. I will make first. I will go to stop the instance. Then I will restart. Let's see. At the time, whatever we are trying to do, it's not accepting. There may be the problem with them. Okay. One thing we can do once again, we'll do the same task. Okay. But I am going to end this lab. Okay. Submit. Okay, again, I'm going to start the lab. Let's okay. Before this, I'm going to close all the options. To wait is that actually this is the simpler lab. You can complete it within 5 to 10 minutes if everything is okay. Mhm. Here you can see the progress for API request 30 marks assigned for create your speech API request 30 and the call the speech API 30. Take time and this lab it requires 1 credit. Mm, 1 credit is required. If you have the credit, you can use that credits. Or if you are a part of Google Cloud Computing Foundation, then you can use this lab free of cost. Okay, I will start the lab once again. Open link in internet window. Then create an API key first. Go to the navigation. Before this, I'm going to delete old API key. Okay, I understand. Now you can use APIs. I'm so sorry. Agree and continue. APIs and services. Yeah. Then you click on credentials. In that credentials, you have to generate it, create an API key. In that API key you are generating, that is cloud speech to text API key. Then click on create. As now the API key is going to create. Copy this API key. Okay, API key is copied, paste it somewhere in the notepad. Okay. Any API, yes, that API key is generated. This is all about the API key generation. You can check your progress here. I created an API key. Now you can use that API key in the environment variable. Before this, you can do SSH. Okay. Again, we failed here only earlier. We will see if it is failed later. Uh, you can use that explanation. You can start whenever you want. This time it is not able to connect. I'm connecting the SSH. I do SSH to my virtual machine. Okay. Authorize. Yes, now it is connected here. Okay. Now what we will do, export API key. That key you're going to paste it here. You can remove this and you can copy paste from this. I copied the API key and assigned to environment variable API key. This is the Linux instance running in US East 4C region and internal IP, external IP. One Linux instance already it is created for you. You need not to create any Linux instance. Since it is a Linux instance, you have to connect through this secure shell protocol SSH. Later, what I can do then can create your speech to text API. Okay, touch request.json file. Then you can use nano request.json to edit the content. What here there are two uh, important components you can see in the request.json file. JSON file. One is config and another one is what audio. What config it going to tells, it will tell you the encoding method that is free lossless audio codec. Okay. And the language code English US URL you are providing. This is the URL you provided. Copy this and paste it here. Now you can press Control X, Control Y, Control X, Y. You are coming out from that. Control X, then and Control X for saving and Y for come out from the request.json file. Okay. Here, this is the same thing I explained in config to tell the speech to text API how to process the request. The encoding parameter tells the API which type of the audio encoding you are using while the file is being sent to the API. Right now, you can check your progress as you created your speech to text API request as the assessment is completed. Now, finally, you are going to call the speech to text API by providing the API key here. Okay. Here, you are going to provide the request.json file and the API key from the environment variable. Just copy and execute it here. Yes, see here in the transcript, you are going to see how old is the Brooklyn Bridge. 0.9310. This is the probability, the accuracy you're going to get. And you can listen once again that audio file. Okay. See how old is the Brooklyn Bridge. This is the text extracted from the audio file. Okay. If you wanted to store the result in request.json file, then what you are going to do, you will simply copy paste this command. See, same to same thing, just greater than result.json. You're going to store the result in the JSON file. I'm going to execute this command. That's executing. Now you can check your progress. Call the speech to text API. Yes, it's work fine. Now you use the speech to text API to retrieve the transcript of an input audio file. This is how you are going to use the speech to text API to convert the what it is there in the audio file that the text you are extracting. Okay, you can see the status 100 out of 100. So we completed the lab. Finally, we completed the lab successfully. Okay, now I'm going to end this lab. Um, Actually, this will take only 5 to 10 minutes because of sometimes you're going to face the problem. At the time, you restart the lab, similarly, what we did now. Okay. Uh, Anyhow, we got an experience. Okay. Thank you.